Hello, Myron. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. So everyone, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Diana Brodeen, the Assistant Director of the Foil and Specialty Effects Association and the Managing Editor of Post Press Magazine. I'm here today with Myron Werner, the Director of Sales, Packaging, and Print for KURZ USA. And we're going to have a little conversation today to make sure you can get a little more information about KURZ and what their company is doing to react to a lot of the situations that we have happening right now in our industry. So Myron, as you're looking forward the next few months, the next couple of years, how will COVID-19 change the industry? And how has it changed the way that KURZ is reacting to its customers and their business needs?
Well, certainly, I think uncertainty is the biggest answer to COVID-19 right now. Certainly, we've lived through uncertainty over the last 3 months or so, and I think there's a lot of uncertainty going forward on how things will look and how business will be conducted. But I'm sure it will be different for sure. We've seen over the last 3 months, we had actually an exceptionally strong March, with people kind of going into this and high demand for some of the products that were essential and soaps and cleaners and all of these things and kept us going. And then obviously things fell off from there. We had, many of the customers, especially smaller scale customers, closing for periods of time. As well as the greeting card industry really shutting down and other things like that. Going forward, I would expect that, with the economic impact that we have, it's going to be a real challenge, I think, to understand the demand and understand how to manage our businesses going through that. Premium products will probably, become the sales will slow down on those type of products as consumers, start to be very cautious with their spending and those type of things. Also, I think one of the big things is, the COVID's has made it very ubiquitous to purchase online and buy online, meetings online. All of these things I think are going to change the way we do business going forward. And it'll be a learning experience for all of us. And I think we're all going to grow from it. And
whether we want to or not.
Yeah, that's right. It's forced upon us for sure.
Absolutely.
It's the only guarantee we have is change, right?
Absolutely. We might as well figure it out while we can. And really this entire situation has maybe given a lot of us a leg up in terms of the technology that we're using. I think if you had a couple of months ago told all the salespeople that they're going to have to hang out on Zoom or you would have gotten a big pushback on that. And now it's almost normal for all of us.
Right.
So as we start looking at recovery for our industry, maybe for the next 3 months or so, what are some of the trends that you're seeing that will impact those companies with print finishing capabilities? And you've already talked about maybe how premium products those orders might slow down. What other trends are you seeing?
Well, I think one of the challenges, particularly for, some of our more entrepreneurial businesses and the small businesses we have in our group, I think managing personnel and people, and especially those that are furloughed right now, and how do you bring those people back on? When do you bring them back on? Cash flow is king in this type of environment. So kind of managing those things and inventories and personnel, I think, will be a challenge with so many people filing for unemployment and balancing those benefits out with going back to work. And I think that's going to be a really challenge for a lot of folks, but particularly a lot of the smaller businesses that we have in our organization.
Absolutely, it will.
I know we're going to be changing some things. I think we'll be driving to more online activities, just like the meetings and promotions and those type of things. But we're going to create we've already had this in process for some time, but we'll have a web shop, a KURZ web shop, and look at doing things differently as far as IT technologies, online meetings. We've really in the past several months. I think a lot of us have been maybe overly inundated with Zoom and Skype and GoToMeeting and WebEx and all of these things. We've maybe all learned a lot about it, but we also see some potential. Certainly working for an international company like KURZ too, international travel has certainly cut back. And I think we've found ways that maybe we don't have to do that much anymore. So I think there's a big learning experience there. And I think that'll happen not only internationally, but across the states as well. And we'll have more of those type of things. Certainly during this period, we've had our tech service, our field tech service guys that are used to having their hands on equipment and what have you, and working with our customers' operators. We've had a lot of FaceTime events and, troubleshooting jobs on press just with video and cameras and that type of thing. It's really been pretty successful. And so there's some opportunities, I think, out there for us, which could be, faster and more efficient and less costly.
Right. Well, really for you and for the customer as well.
Right. For everybody.
Quicker if you're waiting for a tech person to get into your shop, if you can just fire up the computer or the iPad and carry it to the machine rather than having to wait for someone to get to your facility. So it benefits both ways.
Yeah.
So kind of along that same line, really, as cost pressures are increasing, what investments should our print and our post-press industries be making right now?
Well, yeah, I think it's going to be a challenge. I mean, what KURZ is doing, obviously we've been in this business 120 years. So we've rode a lot of highs and lows through that, and we're in it for the long haul. So we've got kind of some strengths to not be so pushed by the quarterly report or stockholders and what have you. So we're in it for the long haul. We're looking to help our customer base wherever we can through this. We've had, significant inventories across our finishing facilities across the states. We've been extremely responsive in helping our customers during this time in that regard. We've been hit with quite a few different raw material increases and raw material supply issues during this time. Some of the hand cleaners and those things by some of the same chemistries we do in solvents and IPA and other things. And there were shortages of those things. So we're able to weather that, and I think without any issue to our customer base. So that's certainly an area we've been able to help out. We've always had continuous improvement programs to streamline, not only our internal manufacturing and raw material costs and those type of things, but also to improve our business processes and processing orders. We really want to get to the point where everything is easier and more flexible for our customer base and make it easy. And just like I was explaining, how we're meeting now or troubleshooting a job on press, some of these methods and techniques and using technology can improve the speed and the cost basis for the long haul. And that's, the other part of that is certainly our products. I mean, I think they're more consistent than they've been for years. So delivering a more consistent product faster, there's less waste for us and our customers in our decorating process today. And I think that's been pretty beneficial. We continue to invest heavily in those innovations and technologies.
And that kind of leads into our next conversation, which is about those profitability margins. Because adding value to print is going to be really critical for our print finishers to be able to sell, right? And then once they sell those enhancements to the printed product, they have to make sure that they're really watching the bottom line within their facility. So how is KURZ helping its customers remain cost effective?
Well, certainly we've invested heavily in building new application equipment and new foils for various digital application equipment. And I think, if you're talking about what customers can invest in during that time is, that technology is, again, faster to market. You don't have to, order tooling. You don't have to produce the tooling. I think during times of uncertainty, and a lot of folks are changing job sizes or running in the packaging side of our business, maybe running a family of wine labels or something like that. But you've got the same basic graphics. You're just changing the name from Merlot to Cabernet or something along those lines. And you see more and more of that activity. And certainly being able to gang and run those things together on some of this digital equipment without changing the tooling and what have you, you can realize small runs. You can make one image if you wanted.
Right.
And so I think with uncertain times and more segmentation across many markets, I think the digital technologies that have been out there, but maybe a little bit cumbersome or maybe on the bleeding edge, are now really excellent equipment out there. And we're investing heavily in those technologies to bring, make it easier and faster for our customers to be able to embellish products and get to the market faster.
Perfect. Perfect. So one last question before we sign off for the day. KURZ has always been a real terrific supporter of the Foil and Specialty Effects Association. And obviously it's more important than ever. Like, our members are turning to us quite a lot. Our phone is ringing, as you can hear, a lot more today here at the office, as our finishers are looking for those resources, whether it's related to COVID-19 or the technologies that they need to be implementing in their own facilities. But why has it been important for KURZ to support our association?
Well, certainly, I mean, the association and its members are our family. They're our allied suppliers and our customers. And so we have, we're a global leader in this industry, and we have an obligation and responsibility to work with, our customers and allied suppliers and on, innovations and areas of responsibility that we all should share. So certainly developing those technologies we talked about earlier, just, improving transfer processes and transfer products, as well as new decorative mediums on how we're going to apply these things. And then also the environment. We're investing heavily in a lot of recycling technologies, measuring our own use of carbon footprint and how we can help the industry in that regard. And some of that is how we market our products and how we talk about our products. And, as an industry, we've got to think a lot about that and how we respond to the consumer product groups of the world and a lot of the environmental groups that are studying impacts on the environment. We've got a good story to tell, and I think that's another role that we should be playing as a leader in the industry is to help with that dialogue and terminology around that, and also certainly the dollars and resources we're investing in trying to improve the capturing of our spent waste and utilizing that for energy or other things, and ultimately to have a closed loop production cycle where we can reuse our product back into our process. So we're spending a lot of time and money in that area, and just the other innovations we're trying to deliver.
Yeah, sustainability is definitely a big key right now. We get a lot of questions from our FSEA members who want to make sure they're explaining it correctly to their customers and within the entire print chain, really, because it goes from the consumer all the way up, doesn't it?
Right, for sure.
Well, Myron, thanks so much for joining me today on our fun little Zoom call. I really appreciate you taking this time, and we appreciate KURZ supporting our FSEA online learning experience. We're able to make this event free thanks to great sponsors like KURZ and a few others, and so we really do appreciate that.
Thank you, Diana. Great to see you.
You too.
Take care.